Ideally, what I like to do is, structure my meal times and, what I'm eating at certain times in the day. So with breakfast, because I'll be training first thing in the morning, breakfast will be some sort of high carb meal. So, it will have my eggs in there for protein, but then, it will have like a slice of bread in there, lots of fruit, and just the high energy dense foods, whether that be rice. So some mornings I'll have eggs and rice. Other mornings, it might be scrambled eggs and, a bagel to go with it. And then I'll always have my banana smoothie, which is quite high in calories and it's fast acting sugars. So it's going to give me that energy that I need to get off the ground in the morning. And straight into the first training session. Then sort of moving through the day, after a training session, it's straight in with some more fruit, so fast acting sugars, follow that up with some protein just to kickstart the recovery, and then making sure I'm having carbohydrates at every meal because, of the training load that I'm doing and the intensities that I'm working at as of current, I'm burning through a lot of energy in the day, so I definitely need, those high energy source foods. I can't just survive on eating broccoli and chicken. So just sitting down having another meal. This one's lean turkey mince with spinach rice, so 2 cups of rice and about 250 grams of lean mince. It is good to have your veggies and you definitely need them. So, I will have lots of nutritious foods, so, vegetables, fruits and everything. But for me, I do need carbohydrates to fuel that training. That's the number one sort of macronutrient. Then protein to help recovery, and then vitamins and minerals from my fruit and vegetables. So if you want to perform at a certain intensity, make sure your nutrition is backing that up. So just sitting down for lunch now. So my lunch consists of pasta, beetroot, avocado, and some tuna. So I've got roughly 2 handfuls of pasta, 1 cup of beetroot, half an avocado, and then 250 grams of tuna. Before that, I just had 2 handfuls of mixed nuts. So quite a high fat content in this meal as today's a rest day for me. So I'm not really training and I don't really need, less fat. So, try and balance all the macronutrients, protein, carbs and fats. So this is my lunch, which I'm going to get into now. So dinner time, I'm looking to have a well-balanced meal. Obviously it's one of the last meals in the day, so not so many carbohydrates. If it's to follow, a heavy training session, like I might have done a training session at night and then I'm straight into sort of dinner, it will have, those carbohydrates just to help with the recovery. But if, I haven't trained, 3 hours before eating it, it will have protein, carbohydrates and fats in there, just so I'm getting all my macronutrients in to help recover and help repair for the next day. So each day I'm looking at that high end around 4,000 plus calories. So at the moment I'm around 4,500 calories. If the day's going to be really intense, that I know, I'll be hitting up a heavy lifting session followed by, a few metcons, I'll look to push that even further. So it's not uncommon that the day is going to have 5,000 calories in it. But, for me, that's what I need to sustain the energy I'm working at. It's just really what works best for my body. I've done diets in the past and seen what works for me. At the moment, I'm finding, keeping it really simple, keeping to the basics, but eating a lot of it when I can. On an average day for the average person who exercises, they're not going to be having, as many calories as what I need to get in one single meal. So, for my breakfast, the half litre of oat milk with, 2 bananas and protein powder. To an average person, that would be a meal on its own. For me, that's a side portion to a meal. So, in that one meal, that's almost 1,500 calories, 500 calorie plus shake, followed by another 1,000 calories just eaten through food. It's actually what I need, and I can really notice it going into trainings that, the food that I'm eating and the way that I'm fueling my body, it's helping with performance. Strength is going up, even though that I'm continuing with a lot of cardiovascular work, being metcons and everything, not really pushing strength specific work. It's all incorporated into some sort of metcon, being through, the team workouts that have been released. So it's good to see that, I can still maintain strength thanks to the way I'm eating. Over the past 5 weeks, what I've done is on a Thursday, I generally have sort of an active recovery day where that'll be, some sort of light exercise, being either, row, run or swim. And then, that night I'll go and get a myotherapy session done where it will be, dry needling, cupping, massage. And then throughout the week, each night I'll do some sort of foam rolling and stretching. So just, your static stretching, foam rolling out the muscles that I've used in the training sessions that day. And, I aim to do a sauna session once a week and, a hot bath at least once a week. So just running a hot bath at the moment. I've chucked some Epsom salts in it just to help muscles recover. So I'll sit and soak in that for a good 30 to 45 minutes. So I do this once a week just to help my muscles recover after training sessions that can be quite grueling and might prevent me from performing at my best. So one of my recovery techniques, sit in a nice sort of hot bath or relatively warm, and just helps increase blood flow, get the blood circulating around the body and loosen up my muscles. I'd probably go with the most basic one, and that would be the foam rolling and just the static stretching, which you can do at home. You can do pretty much anywhere you are. All you need is a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can use a PVC pipe. It's really, really basic, but you can release any muscle, and it's really quick and easy. You can have it done within half an hour. My form of meditation is through breathing, so breathing exercises. I've actually been able to use an app that allows me to perform some sort of box breathing before training sessions, and then at night before I sleep I'll do another breathing session which helps me sort of wind down and relax. Obviously, perform the best of my ability, whether that be as far as a team can go. I really do believe strongly that, our abilities and capacities as a team look really positive. I think we'll do really well. And then moving forward as an individual, I'll be able to gauge what it's like this year at the regionals level, and see, individual competitors and, what they're actually like in terms of their competitiveness. So then, I can adopt that sort of methodology going forward in the next year into my own training. So training at a certain intensity to get a certain goal. So regionals has always been sort of that goal for me since I first started CrossFit. Back in 2012 when I first was exposed to it, and then 2013 I had my coach, Matt Nicholson. He made it to the Masters CrossFit Games for the 50 to 54 division. And, being from a competitive background, bodybuilding and powerlifting, he always, had those intense workouts and, was the driving sort of motivation for me at the time. And then towards the end of 2013, I competed in sort of my first big competition, and that was for my age group. So I was 17 at the time, and I flew up to Queensland and competed in the Teenage Gauntlet, which was the Australia-New Zealand region. And I was lucky enough to win that and, place first in that division. And, ever since then, it's been a real sort of motivation to take it as far as I can and, see what I can actually make of CrossFit. I've got a few people around me at the moment. Obviously I've got a close one being, my brother. He, he's always been there, behind the scenes for me, helped me with, certain training, and, he runs his own business now, but it's always been good to have him as a training partner, and, we push pretty hard in certain workouts together. So, when I'm at home, I can rely on him to, be there and, help me get through. But, when he's not around and I'm, obviously going and training at other places, I've got, my coach, Chris Medcraft. He made regionals in 2013 as an individual competitor, did quite well. And he's provided me with some sort of insight in, what it actually takes to get there. And, having him in support, especially, prepping for this year's regionals as a team and having him as our head coach, it's been really great. And then I've had, the opportunity to train with the top end being, Mitch Cinnamon, Tom Lengill, all those guys that, compete in the regionals and at the CrossFit Games. Just seeing what they are like and how hard they work to get there, that's a real big motivation for me. So I hope, I can sort of follow in their footsteps and, make something of it. If you like what you saw, click subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode.